My name is Lieutenant Gary Aswalt, and welcome to an accurate tour of by far the most luxurious season of Call of Duty I've ever seen. I think my credit score went up 3 points by just playing on these. And first, I want to welcome you to Dealership, where we have just so many cars. We got small cars, big cars, old cars, new cars, shy cars, look at me, I'm special cars, naked cars, fire cars, and even spinning cars. How cool is this, right? Dealership, like most new maps, takes place on Avalon, a massive made-up city that Black Ops 6's campaign doesn't take place in. So I really don't know why we're here, to be honest. Gameplay-wise, the map is a pretty standard and middle-of-the-road addition. And I mean that literally. It takes place just off of a road and is built primarily around the titular dealership, which in and of itself is surprisingly symmetrical, but with one side that's just objectively better. We'll get back to that in a minute. The first thing you'll notice about Dealership is that at any given time, there's about 9 different ways that you can flank or be flanked, as the layout and cover placement creates these constant tight circles. So many close-range gunfights make you feel like you have bad food poisoning. Not entirely sure which end the bad guy's gonna pop out of, but you know it's coming, and boy are you sweaty. The sales office in the center is what I consider to be the beating heart of the map, a central point at which blood is drawn into before being sent out in every direction imaginable, seemingly at random. But, I'm no doctor. Talking outer lanes, there's a fat courtyard on the east side and the tall and skinny street on the west, each delivering the exact type of gameplay that you'd expect. Close quarter SMGs and ARs in the courtyard, and slightly longer range SMGs and ARs on the street. But going back to what I was saying before about one side being objectively better, I want to break down just the dealership part of this map quick. And as you can see, it's cut into 3 blocky pieces, like they added ants to Minecraft. And each spawn has their own infill zone, a new phrase that I'm coining for the section just after their spawn. And then both sides are supposed to meet in the middle chunk here. However, both sides have this slightly elevated area overlooking those infill zones. So someone from the opposite team can easily run past the middle office and get a little window into exactly where the other team will be running. But the problem is that while one side is properly balanced with no cover, the other side has a mountable wall, and the entrance to that team's infill zone is significantly smaller, creating the perfect bottleneck to just post up and shoot everything that tries coming through, which is genuinely the most powerful power position I think I've seen in years. But that said, if you're caught on the other end of this, there are a few things that you can do, mostly having to do with the map's interactive elements. First, there's these garage doors that you can open or shut to give yourselves a bit of cover getting to the other sections of the map. And yes, you can shoot these to open just like on Subsonic. They're what we like to call American locks. And then along the street side, you can find a vent grate with that yellow "Please Touch Me" tape on it, which when meleeed will open up, giving you direct access to that power position. And I gotta say, this is the kind of stuff that I love in map design. Little things like this that you might not notice your first time playing and you actually need to learn, rewarding you for your map knowledge and not making every single gunfight just about how fast you can slide or jump around. Then the next map is called Bounty, after the story reason of why we're fighting here. Because it turns out that after our Black Ops crew robbed the Lutazi family, they retaliated by putting a bounty on all their heads, and also sending a Marvel villain after them. Bounty is a somewhat symmetrical and somewhat medium-sized map that has you fighting through a single story of a skyscraper, starting from each spawn on the exposed rooftop and working your way in. Kind of like someone took the map Highrise and flipped it inside out. Now, when you first spawn in, you'll immediately be able to tell which side of the map you're on by what class of society it appears you've been birthed into. Because one side is elegantly decorated with the hallmarks of the 1%. We've got a poker table / stripper pole, tiny waterfalls, and a picture of a horse. Then compare that to the other side, where most of it is under construction and covered in tarps to hide their shame, and I think it's pretty clear what this side represents. And because the map is mostly symmetrical, you can actually see the comparison pretty one-to-one. The poor side has a standard spawn roof, while the other end has a spawn patio, which is just a rich guy word for roof. Then the infill zone off of spawn is an incomplete office for the lower class, while the wealthy get a full-on nightclub with open bar. I mean, heck, the rich side even gets this luxury green CEO-looking suite with their desk facing out the window across to the other side's boardroom, where all the actual work would be getting done. But don't worry, this is nothing like dealership, because even though one side is clearly superior, in-game there's always the great equalizer. Guns. Wait, what? Because both sides are almost too well balanced, it's not uncommon to find a pair of hardscopers caught in a stalemate both here, across that boardroom and suite, and also here across the main lobby, where you're supposed to be able to bunny hop your way across these light fixtures to get to the other side. But in reality, every time that you try, you just get clotheslined by somebody camping the sightline. And I know that I could continue the poor and rich metaphor, but I trust that you can figure it out from there. Instead, the real way to get across the map is by taking the outer lanes and scaling the outside of the building like you're in Mission Impossible, or a street performer's take on Spider-Man. But probably my favorite part about how this map plays is the glass. There's just something so satisfying about starting the match by ramming your head into 7 glass panes off the bat without any regard for personal safety or how expensive it is to fix that many high-rise grade exterior windows. There's even a little glass sky bridge near the boardroom that you can shoot out, in theory to catch an enemy off guard and send them falling to their death. But more often than that, they're just blown up immediately when the match starts, and I end up accidentally sliding off trying to show off for all the rich people instead. And the final map with Season 2's initial drop is Lifeline, a strike map designed for 2v2 gunfight. People do play these in 2v2 gunfight, right? Right? Lifeline is like if they made Black Ops 2's Hijacked in modern day, where everything has to be at least 50% smaller and 2,000% faster. As far as setting and aesthetics go, this is probably my favorite strike map yet, taking place mid-boat chase, where if you fall off the back of the boat, it will actually leave you behind, which is a really nice touch that I didn't actually expect to work. Layout-wise, this is the skinniest map in the game, but not in a good, whoa, have you lost weight kind of way, but more of a, oh, we need to get you some help kind of way. And because it's so skinny, the entire match is just one team stuck in their spawn on either side, and the other team just sitting like right here, keeping them all contained. And the thing is, I think this is how it was designed. Like I think this was all on purpose, because like, what the fuck else are we expected to do here? Now, there are some alternate routes and sightlines, I'll call them, where you can post up on these little outcrops and shoot at people on the stairs, or if you're really desperate, you could jump overboard and swim around to the back, but the out-of-bounds timer is so short that chances are you're just gonna die out there trying to make it happen anyway, leading me to believe that they knew exactly what they were doing. Okay, they knew that this map would be nothing but an absolute clusterfuck of spawn-trapped mayhem and controller-breaking insta-deaths, okay? And you know what? Honestly, I gotta respect it. But that's about where I'll end today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, check out the last Accurate tour we did for Season 1's maps. And everyone else can exit through the gift shop, which is offering their annual Call of Duty is so back sale. Better act fast, it'll only last for about 45 more minutes.